Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the new M16 assault rifle, and yes, I already know the iron sights on this gun are terrible. It's extremely difficult for me to see what I'm shooting. It's very difficult to track my targets in Advanced Warfare, and they're very, very impractical. That's why I'm doing the iron sight gameplay up first, because I immediately moved to the red dot sight. But to be fair to Sledgehammer Games, and the real-life M16, which I have fired, doesn't have beautiful iron sights. They are obstructive, they're not clean, they're not open, as a lot of people would describe it, but the M16 is designed for long-range combat. Those iron sights are fantastic for use at long range, and they can be adjusted and adapted, and you can do lots of nice things with them. That's why it's considered a professional weapon in some circles. Very, very nice, not like the AK where it's just kind of simple point and shoot. But back on topic, the M16 might be practical in real life, but in Advanced Warfare, it is not practical at all. This is not a very good gun. As a matter of fact, I'm going to preemptively dub it in the beginning of this episode the worst gun in Advanced Warfare, so buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be a very, very rough in-depth. The damage, which is difficult to calculate because we don't have PC code and it's a burst fire weapon, is 40, 30, 20. It's approximate, and that looks pretty good for assault rifles. That looks pretty normal, and you'd say, okay, that's not so bad. What's so bad about this gun? The range on it is truly, honestly, less than a Nerf gun. If I were to go to Walmart right now, go to the toy aisle, look at Nerf, and then go to the aisle to the left and get the off-brand Nerf guns that were all made in China, those would have a more effective range than the M16, and I'm not even joking. Just look at this clip right here. I did this in split screen, and I would say this is very close range. I shoot 3 bursts into the guy, and just nothing happens. It's crazy. The M16 should not be a weak weapon, but they just soak up shots. This is how close you have to be to get a one burst kill. That's the same as the ARX, and that is in no way effective, especially when you consider some of the other stats on this weapon, which aren't very flattering either. But back on topic, it's almost never going to be a one burst kill, and I would really like to emphasize that you should really not expect any one burst kills with this weapon, and maybe not even 2 burst kills. It's usually 2 or 3 because you'll miss a shot, or they'll be far away, or something goofy will happen. They'll be behind a wall. Expect to have to burst about 2 to 3 times to kill anybody, and the actual range on the maximum one burst kill is approximately 8 meters, or shotgun one-shot kill range. So your one burst kill range is about the same of a shotgun one-shot kill range. Not very effective. Headshots don't seem to matter very much either, at least they didn't for me. Another strange thing is that the aim down sights time for this weapon is slower than the other assault rifles at 350 milliseconds. It's kind of like the AK-47 that they patched in, except the AK-47 made up with it for awesome amounts of damage and range. This one has a slower than normal aim down sights time, which means that it's going to be even slower for you to acquire targets, for you to react, for you to pull up those sights and shoot, and hopefully not on the iron sights. Red dot's a little bit cleaner, though we still have the foresight. And again, to be fair to Sledgehammer Games, that's how a real M16 looks. I shot mine with a holographic sight on it later in the day after we goofed around with the iron sights, and yes, it looked like that. And let's talk about the rate of fire, because that is another huge problem with this weapon. The rate of fire of the burst of the 3 shots that come out of your gun is 720 RPM. This is the same as the AK-12, which is considered kind of slow. I would say this is kind of slow for a burst fire weapon. This would be normal if it were a fully automatic assault rifle. It wouldn't even be good. It would be kind of average. But burst fire weapons tend to have the burst come out extremely fast and then have a delay that kind of lowers your average rate of fire. This one, just the speed of the burst is already average or below average, so that's not good. And the delay is tremendous. Such a huge delay between bursts. It is the slowest delay in the game by far at 0.3 seconds. You're thinking 0.3 seconds, that's not very much. You guys have probably already noticed by my gameplay, it looks like I'm shooting super slow. I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm trying, praying, squeezing, smashing this trigger, trying to make this gun to shoot, and it just won't do it. And to compare to other burst delays in this game, both the ARX and the IMR have the exact same burst delay of 0.1 seconds, and the AMR9 has a burst delay of 0.5 seconds. So the burst delay on the M16 is 6 times that of the AMR9 and 3 times that of the ARX/IMR. And given this overall rate of fire, you can pretty much shoot the ARX 3 3 times before you can shoot the M16 once, and considering that your first shot is almost never going to kill anybody, your theoretical time to kill is going up to over a second for this weapon in most scenarios, whereas other weapons are like 0.2 seconds or like a fifth of a second. This one is going up to over a second. Very, very frustrating. Expect to have to follow up a lot and expect to have to be very patient on your follow-up shots if you use this weapon. On the plus side, it's got a very fast reload time. It reloads in about 1.1 seconds, which is really swift and good. I've got no complaints about that one whatsoever, but unfortunately, it's a low damage weapon. It's a low range weapon. It has bad iron sights, and it shoots very, very slowly with big delays between the firing. What is this good for? And in my honest opinion, it's not good for anything. I think that this is currently the worst gun in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and it is not at all effective. If you want to use this weapon, that's okay. It looks cool. It feels nostalgic. You're taking like Vietnam War era weapons into the future, and that's kind of cool. And I don't have a problem if you like that, but you just shouldn't expect this to perform well. Expect to have to struggle. This is a troll gun. This is a difficult gun. This is right up there with the blunderbuss. Might actually be a little bit easier than this. And I think that it's best with just throwing it away and using your knife. If you have this weapon and you really want to maximize it and get the best potential out of it, throw it away and use your combat knife. That's the best advice I can give you. It was really not very good, and I truly do hope that Sledgehammer buffs this game and brings the M16 back to its proper glory. Guys, that's all for this in-depth episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the Cell 3 shotgun, and the next one I have to keep secret for now. Drifter out.